let's get into details. Okay, first let's talk about article types. Right? So you need to create this content that's going to be published on somebody else's site with a backlink to your site. Right? So what kind of content are you creating? Well, you could be really lazy and outsource the content and let them figure out what the heck it is they want to write about. And then you stick your links at the bottom and you submit it. It's about as lazy and easy as it gets. Nothing wrong with that. It'll get the job done. Maybe not as effective as if you were to follow some of these guidelines and really make an excellent article. But let's go over some of these article types first, okay? The first one of my favorites, is the how-to article. You know, how to bake a cake, how to tie a tie, how to build a shed. They're really popular articles because, let's face it, they answer a question. And what is this whole internet thing all about? What are searchers looking for? They're looking for answers to their question, right? That's what a search in Google is. It's a virtual question that somebody types into Google looking for an answer. And these types of articles do really, really well, both in terms of ranking and in terms of enticing the reader, because it gives them some really valuable information for free and leads them to a solution. Right? Either the solution is completely filled out within the article, or it's given to them on a basic level and points to a web property that will explain the advanced applications of whatever that solution is, right? So maybe you make a basic how to build a 4x4 shed, or not 4x4, that'd be a really tiny shed, but whatever, how to build a 10x10 shed, and then somewhere in the author bio box for that, it points them to a site that shows them how to build, you know, a larger shed, or a shed that runs on sustainable energy, or whatever the heck it is. I think you get my point. Those are obviously really off-the-cuff examples. But these are great articles because they engage the reader. The next one, the list article. This one's been really popular in recent years. It's died down a little bit. I'd say maybe 2 or 3 years ago it was at the height of its popularity. But these list articles became so popular because they have sort of a viral nature to them. So example titles would be the top 10 article directories. Not real enticing if you ask me, but I just wrote up some examples here, right? 7 ways to make money online. The point is that these list articles have a number in the title, and they're consisted of literal lists or bullet points covering whatever topic it is they're targeting. Again, another really engaging way to interact with readers, provides valuable solutions or valuable information on where to find solutions. It's just, again, another really great way to interact with the reader. I love the list type articles. The other aspect of those is viral, which I mentioned a second ago. The viral aspect used to get picked up all the time in these social bookmarking sites, especially Dig. Dig was real big on the list articles or list content on the web. They got a lot of attention on Dig for some reason. Not as much today as a few years ago, but still effective. They're basically, you know, like I said, they're lists, but they're also a combination of some of the best resources out there. Right? In internet marketing, you'll see a lot of list articles on, you know, the best WordPress plugins, right? The top 100 WordPress plugins, the best article directories, top 10 ways to SEO your website. So lists are really popular in our industry here. But they work well in pretty much any market. The recap article is similar to a list article in the sense that it's an amalgamation. Is that the right word? It's a combination of opinions, statements, or lists taken from multiple resources. Right? So you're just recapping what other experts or authors have written and combine it all together in one place. It can be a really useful resource. Those are some of my favorite types of articles to read personally, not just for promotion sense, but to actually read online, because you get all these great locations to find more information. And the last one on my list here is the inspirational article. You could say, inspire someone to overcome an obstacle. And these are more personal accounts. They can be personal accounts. They can be third-person accounts, whereas you write about how someone you knew overcame smoking cigarettes, right? How they were able to quit on their own. And you just kind of recount from a third-person perspective how they did that. Or you could do it from the first-person perspective, how I finally quit or how I overcame alcoholism. Stuff like that. That works too. But these are just a couple article ideas or concepts. And I share these article concepts with you because I know they're highly effective in engaging the reader. And I'm a big proponent of quality. Big proponent of quality. Like I said, you could just hire somebody to write up a bunch of articles, give them the keywords, and say, go ahead, have fun. But what you get back is never going to be as engaging or high quality as if you were to have, maybe a little bit more specific instructions. So that's why I want to share this with you guys. I would write this down if I were you. Just keep that in your little systems file, right? Like create a file for article marketing, and then you build your systems around concepts like this. Okay. Systems, I'd like to explain what that's all about, but that's a different webinar altogether. Maybe we'll talk about that another time. So those are the general article types I like to work with. Now, the specifics for each article is kind of the same for each type. Right? And here's my article guidelines. So when you're having someone write up your articles, you kind of want to follow some guidelines for a good SEO article. An article that's, number one, going to have an excellent chance to rank well in the search engines no matter where it's published. It could be your site, could be an article directory, could be an authority site, doesn't matter. It's because of the way it's written, it's going to have an excellent chance for ranking. Number two, it's going to have enough content and be engaging enough to get the reader to click over to your site. Remember, there's two halves of article marketing. One is for the backlinks, two is for the direct traffic you're going to get out of it. And for some of you guys that are sitting on the call thinking, oh man, I know all this stuff already, this isn't new. Well, surprise, surprise, I bet you are one of the guys that only uses anchor text backlinks in your article. You don't care about the traffic that comes to it, right? Well, you're making a mistake, at least in my opinion. I'll get to that in just a second. Let me take a little sip of my water here. I'm a little bit parched. Okay, so back to the guidelines here. Number one, you can obviously read this when I want to go over. Number one, your primary keyword should be as close to the beginning of the title as possible. So let's say, for example, you're doing a list, and you want to target the phrase article directories. You want to get that